let's get into our top corners here, guys. So I think all along I haven't hid the fact that I haven't been as big a fan of Travis Hunter as other people have. I think Rob kind of agrees with me on that. I don't want to speak for you,
The
Rob,
two of
but
us.
yeah, I just want to speak for you specifically.
Well,
you can feel free
you
to
are
give your.
definitely more anti-Hunter than I
I'm not
am.
anti.
But
For the record, I'm not anti. I just don't think he's worth a number 3 pick.
correct. Maybe put a digit in front of that.
Yeah, I'd be fine with that.
Yeah.
But there's another guy that I think is the top corner of this draft, and it's not Hunter. And it's a guy that, quite frankly, is not being talked enough in this draft. I think a guy that I think is going to end up being a potential steal for whoever gets him, because they're going to get him right around that 10 to 12 kind of spot, probably, is where I think he's probably going to end up going. And he has the talent of a top 10 player in this draft easily. And that's partially because of how good he is and partially because of how bad this draft is, for the record.
Yeah.
It's a fair statement. It really is. I mean, let's be honest. This is not a top-heavy draft. Like, ooh, these top 10 people are amazing. No, this is not.
Yeah, it's a very good
depth.
Day 2.
Yeah, day 2 is going to be amazing. Let's just trade down and get a whole schnicky load of day 2 picks. But since that's not an option, let's talk about the guy who is our top corner on this board, and that's Will Johnson out of Michigan. Now, he is an outside corner. It's a very outside corner heavy kind of draft there. He is 6'2", 202 pounds, 22 years old, from Detroit, Michigan, little Detroit Rock City. In 22, he was a freshman All-American. 23, first-team All-American, first-team All-Big Ten. This past season, got a little bit of the injury bugs here. So, a lot of this evaluation is really, to be honest, based off of last year, not this year. 6 games, 14 tackles, 1 tackle for loss, 2 interceptions. Both of them returned for touchdowns, by the way. 3 passes deflected and a 76.5 PFF grade. Second-team All-American and second-team All-Big Ten. Think about that. Second-team All-American with only 6 games played. That's
pretty impressive.
Yeah, that shows you the
stats.
That shows you the respect they have for his play. Is what it is, point blank. 3 of his 9 career interceptions were returned for touchdowns. It's not a bad ratio.
Impressive.
That's not a bad ratio. Now, he had a shoulder contusion to start the season off there. Played through it, which is part of why you see, again, we said a 76.5 PFF grade, not the best. And you look at that, you go, ooh, that's not that great. But you go, oh, hold on, 76.5 with a shoulder issue.
Say, with an injury.
Yeah.
When you're trying to swat the ball down with your shoulder and catch the ball.
Well. Even just in general, when you're backpedaling, listen, you try to backpedal without moving your arms. I dare anybody to do that.
You look like you're doing the Irish Jake when you do
it. You can't do it. So you're going to constantly, that's what you're doing. You're moving around. That shoulder is nonstop moving. Whenever he jams the receiver at the line, that's the shoulder getting that pressure. Like, all this stuff is shoulder, shoulder, shoulder. But he played through it. Then he got turf toe. And then he couldn't play through. That's why just the 6 games there. He plays well in both zone and man. He's sticky. Quarterbacks flat out refuse to throw to him at times. He did have that kind of reputation in college. He's got great instincts. He's a great processor. The only downfalls to him is he's not a very physical corner. We talked about the press a minute ago. Press is definitely not his forte. And I think part of the problem, you got to give him kind of an incomplete in that, though, too, because he wasn't good in 23 on that. You go to 24 and you go, okay, didn't look great either, but he had the shoulder injury. So how much was it him not improving in that category? And how much was that the shoulder injury and his press work maybe being a little off because of that? Either one's a possibility.
Yeah.
He also leaves too much of a cushion. Now, he got away with that in college because he's a really good athlete. He's got long reach. He's got all the stuff you want out of a corner. Will he get away with that in NFL? Does he have to kind of shorten that up a little bit there? Because it becomes a game of inches, not a game of feet anymore once you're in the NFL. But
touche.
Solid player, guys. Again, I'm telling you, top 15 pick he's going to be. But when it boils down to it, he's going to be one of the best players in this entire draft. That's what he's going to be.
I wouldn't be surprised if he goes top 10.
Yeah. Very, very high floor, I feel like, too. Like, I never want to sit there and, it's very, I don't think we've ever really gone to a draft with the scouting a player and going, this kid's going to be a great, amazing player, all pro, blah, 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 blah. Like, I don't think we ever really do that because I try to avoid the hyperboles. But this is a kid with a very high floor, I feel like. He's going to be a legit starter this league. Am I going to sit there and say he's going to be all pro? No. Again, he might be. He's got that potential.
But say he has the potential.
But if this kid is total bust, I would be absolutely shocked. Absolutely shocked. He's going to be at least a good starter in this league, if not a great one. Like, he's got the potential to be a shutdown corner, but at the very least, he's going to be a solid corner in this league as a starter.
Yeah. Definitely draft him to be your number one, hands down.
Yeah, and it might take a little time. Keep in mind, corners don't typically come out, hit the ground running. It takes a year or two to get going. Hopefully, at least 2 years, Deontay Banks, but it takes some time. You don't usually hit the ground running, but, be a little patient with this kid. Let him learn some of the things he's got to learn by trial by fire. And he's got the personality, the confidence to deal with it. I think he's going to be a damn good player in this league for many, many years.
Yes, 100%.
If you like that clip, then you will love the full episodes too. Find us on your favorite podcast app and look for us on all your favorite social media platforms.
Thanks so much.
Please, I'm begging you. Please subscribe.